The eviction notice feels like sandpaper in my hands. I stare at it for the third time today, hoping the words will somehow rearrange themselves into something less devastating. They don't. Silverwind Pack has 30 days to vacate the compound we've called home for 3 generations. 30 days before my younger siblings, Yoonji with her chronic illness, little Daehoon who just started school, become homeless. Jiwoo. My father's voice drifts from his bedroom, weak and thin. The medical bills from his stroke last year are part of why we're here, drowning in debt we can't pay. Everything's fine, Appa, I lie, folding the notice and tucking it into my pocket. Rest. But everything isn't fine. Our Pack's business venture collapsed 6 months ago when a deal fell through. Sabotaged, The Elders Whisper by Moonstone Pack. Our sworn enemies for 30 years, though I've never understood why. Ancient grudges mean nothing when your family is starving. I slip out of our small apartment within the compound and walk the perimeter. Silverwind territory is modest. Just a few buildings, a communal garden that's more weeds than vegetables now, a playground where paint peels from rusted swings. 17 families call this place home. 17 families who will scatter to the winds if I don't do something. The elders held an emergency meeting last night. I stood outside the community hall, listening through the cracked window as they discussed disbanding the pack entirely. Omegas don't usually attend these meetings. We're expected to stay quiet, stay safe, stay invisible. But I heard every word. There's no money left. We've asked neighboring packs for help. No one will risk offending Moonstone. Perhaps it's time to accept defeat. Defeat. The word sits like lead in my stomach. That night, alone in the room I share with my siblings, I make a decision that terrifies me. My phone glows in the darkness as I scroll through an advertisement I've seen 100 times but never seriously considered. Moonlight matches, elite breeder contracts. Discretion guaranteed. Compensation, 200 million Korean wons. 200 million won. Enough to pay our debts, cover Yoonji's medical treatments, save the compound. My hands shake as I fill out the application. Pack affiliation, I leave that blank, fear prickling my spine. The agency promises complete anonymity. No one will know who I am or where I come from. The alpha will be equally anonymous. Just biology. Science. A transaction. I hover over the submit button for 10 minutes before pressing it. 3 days later, I receive a response. I've been matched with alpha number 0397. High compatibility score. The clinical language makes it sound like a job interview, not the most intimate decision of my life. The first appointment is scheduled for the following week. The agency operates from an unmarked building in a wealthy district 2 hours from Silverwind territory. I take 3 buses to get there, hood pulled low, heart hammering. Inside, everything is pristine white and steel, more hospital than anything else. Mr. Kim? A beta woman in a crisp suit greets me. Follow me, please. She leads me through a maze of corridors to a private room. The lights will be dimmed to protect both parties' identities. You'll wear this mask. She hands me a black silk covering that obscures everything from my nose up. Alpha number 0397 will arrive separately. The room has been treated with scent masking technology, but once you're both present, natural pheromones will be detectable. This is necessary for successful bonding. Bonding. Such a gentle word for what's about to happen. Do you understand the terms? She asks. I nod, though I understand nothing except that my family needs this. She leaves. The lights dim until I can barely see my own hands. My heart pounds so violently I'm certain anyone nearby can hear it. The door opens and closes. Someone else is here. Hello. The voice is deep, careful. Alpha. Hi, I whisper back. Are you comfortable? The question surprises me. I expected coldness, clinical efficiency. Instead, there's something almost gentle in his tone. Yes, I lie. He moves closer and suddenly I smell him. The scent masking technology can't completely hide the natural pull of alpha pheromones. It hits me like a physical force. Pine and rain and something darker, richer. My omega instincts, dormant for so long, roar to life. I actually sway on my feet. Are you all right? His hand catches my elbow, steadying me. Your scent, I manage. It's strong. Yours too. His voice has dropped lower, rougher. I wasn't expecting. He doesn't finish. Neither of us expected this. The compatibility score didn't prepare me for the visceral, undeniable pull between us. This is supposed to be clinical. Instead, it feels like destiny reaching out and grabbing me by the throat. What follows is quick, awkward, and overwhelming. He's careful with me, surprisingly so. Whispers asking if I'm okay. Hands that steady rather than demand. In the darkness, I can barely see his silhouette, just feel the heat of him, smell that intoxicating scent that makes my head spin. When it's over, we separate quickly. He leaves first. I sit in the dark, trembling, wondering what I've just done. The second appointment is easier. The third I actually look forward to. We begin talking, brief exchanges in the darkness. He asks about my day in vague terms. I ask about his. We're both careful never to reveal identifying information, but somehow those whispered conversations become the highlight of my month. After the third encounter, I wait 2 weeks before taking the test. The agency calls the next day. Congratulations, Mr. Kim. You're pregnant. Relief floods through me. The money will come through. My family is saved. We'll schedule your first ultrasound for next week, the beta woman continues. Standard procedure. The ultrasound room is bright, too bright after the darkness of the breeding rooms. The technician spreads cold gel across my still flat stomach. Let's see. She moves the wand slowly. Pauses. Moves it again. Her expression shifts from routine to shocked. What? Panic seizes my chest. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong, Mr. Kim. She turns the screen toward me. But you're not carrying one pup. You're carrying 4. The room tilts. 4. Quadruplets. Extremely rare, especially for Omegas. This changes everything. She reaches for her phone. We need to contact alpha number 0397 immediately. High-risk pregnancies require full disclosure. The anonymity contract will have to be modified. Wait, but she's already dialing. I stare at the screen where 4 tiny beans pulse with life. My hand touches my stomach, awed and terrified. Everything is about to change. I just don't know how much. The summons arrives 3 days after my ultrasound, stamped with the regional council's official seal. All pack members must attend. No exceptions. My father reads it aloud, his hands shaking slightly. A territorial dispute hearing between Silverwind and Moonstone. After 30 years, they're finally forcing us to the same table. Moonstone Pack. Our enemies. The ones who destroyed our business deal and pushed us to the brink of ruin. I don't want to go, I murmur, hand instinctively moving to my stomach. At 8 weeks, there's no visible bump yet, but I know what's growing inside me. For lives. For miracles that connect me to an alpha whose face I've never fully seen. Pack Law Jiwoo. My father's expression is grim. Everyone goes or we face sanctions. The agency still hasn't arranged my meeting with alpha number 0397. They keep calling, leaving messages about complications and scheduling conflicts. Meanwhile, my body is changing. Subtle nausea in the mornings, heightened sense of smell, and exhaustion that settles into my bones. The hearing is scheduled for Friday evening at the Neutral Council Hall downtown. I dress carefully that day, choosing loose clothing that hides my frame. The last thing I need is questions about why I look pale and tired. 17 members of Silverwind Pack crowd into 2 vans for the journey. The atmosphere is tense. We're heading into enemy territory, metaphorically speaking. The council hall is an imposing building with marble columns and vaulted ceilings. Inside, wooden benches face a raised platform where the regional council elders sit. One side of the room is already filled with Moonstone Pack members. I keep my head down, sliding into a bench near the back with other younger pack members. My heart pounds uncomfortably. Across the aisle, I can feel the weight of hostile stares from Moonstone wolves. 30 years of hatred fills this room like poison gas. The council leader bangs his gavel. This hearing will address the ongoing territorial disputes between The doors open. Everyone turns. A group of 3 people enters, clearly Moonstone's leadership delegation. 2 betas flank a tall figure in a dark suit. Even from the back of the room, his presence is commanding. Powerful. Alpha energy radiates from him in waves that make my Omega instincts sit up and take notice. He walks down the center aisle with lethal grace. This must be him, Kang Minho, the Ice Wolf, the Alpha who destroyed my pack's future. I should hate him. I do hate him. But then the scent hits me. That darker, richer undertone that I've memorized in the darkness. My entire body goes rigid. It's impossible. Can't be. Miho's head snaps toward me like I've screamed. His eyes, dark, intense, furious, lock onto mine across the crowded room. I watch recognition dawn on his face, mirroring the horror that must be written all over mine. Those eyes. I know those eyes. I've seen them in the dim light, felt them watching me in the darkness. Alpha number 0397. The father of my children is Kang Minho, leader of Moonstone Pack. My sworn enemy. Time seems to stop. The entire council hall fades away until there's only him and me and the impossible truth hanging between us. His nostrils flare. He's scenting me, recognizing me the way I recognize him. Biology doesn't lie. Our bodies know each other even if our minds rebel against it. Then Minho moves. He crosses the room with terrifying speed, ignoring the council's protests, shouldering past his own pack members. People scatter. Someone shouts. But he doesn't stop until he's standing directly in front of me, towering over where I sit frozen on the bench. You. The single word is barely controlled fury and shock and something else I can't name. I can't speak. Can't breathe. Up close, without masks and darkness between us, he's devastating. Sharp features, cold eyes that burn with intensity, a jaw clenched so tight I can see the muscle jumping. Stand up, he commands. My body obeys before my mind can protest. Omega instincts responding to Alpha authority. His hand shoots out, gripping my wrist, not painfully but firmly. His thumb presses against my pulse point. You're pregnant. Not a question. Alphas can sense these things in their Omegas, especially their own. The room erupts. Get your hands off him. My father lunges forward, held back by other Silverwind members. What is the meaning of this? The council leader's voice booms. Miho's eyes never leave mine. How far along? 8 weeks, I whisper. Quadruplets. Something flashes across his face. Shock, then calculation, then something almost like fear. His grip on my wrist tightens fractionally. Everyone sit down. The council leader bangs his gavel repeatedly. Alpha Kang, explain yourself immediately. Minho finally looks away from me, addressing the council with terrifying composure. This Omega is carrying my children. 4 pups, conceived through a legal breeder contract with Moonlight Matches Agency. He pulls a document from his jacket. The contract, somehow he already has it. Under pack law regarding high-risk Omega pregnancies, I'm invoking custodial rights. He comes to Moonstone territory. Tonight. The Silverwind side explodes in outrage. Absolutely not. You can't take our pack member. This is kidnapping. My father's voice rises above the chaos. Jiwoo, tell them this isn't true. But I can't lie. Everyone can smell the truth now, the subtle shift in my scent that marks pregnancy, the alpha's claim already settling into my bones. It's true, I force out. I signed a contract. I didn't know, I never saw his face. The anonymity clause is void for high-risk pregnancies, one of the council elders says, reviewing documents quickly. Quadruplets qualify. And pack law does give the alpha rights to ensure proper care. This is insane. Silverwind's head elder stands, trembling with rage. You expect us to hand over one of ours to Moonstone? After everything they've done to us? Miho's expression doesn't change. Moonstone has the medical facilities for quadruplet pregnancies. Silverwind doesn't. Would you rather risk his life and 4 pups out of pride? The question hangs in the air, brutal and effective. I won't go, I say, finding my voice. You can't make me. Actually, I can. Miho's eyes return to mine, and they're cold now. Empty. The contract is binding. You accepted payment. To save my pack. We were desperate. And now you're carrying the next generation of Moonstone pack. His voice drops lower, meant only for me. Did you think there wouldn't be consequences? That you could take my children and disappear? I didn't know they were yours. But they are. His hand moves from my wrist to hover near my stomach, not touching, but the intent is clear. And I protect what's mine. The hearing dissolves into chaos. Legal documents are reviewed. Arguments fly back and forth. My father tries to reach me but is blocked by Moonstone wolves. Through it all, Miho stands beside me like a sentinel, silent and immovable. 3 hours later, the council makes their ruling. The contract is legally binding. For the safety of the Omega and pups, he will relocate to Moonstone territory with full medical support. Silverwind Pack retains visitation rights. This is not negotiable. I'm too numb to fight when Miho's hand closes around my elbow. Too shocked to protest when he guides me out of the council hall while my father shouts behind us. Everything feels surreal, like I'm watching this happen to someone else. A black car waits outside. Miho opens the door. Get in. I look back at my pack one last time. My father's face is anguished. Yoonji is crying. Everything I did was supposed to save them. Instead, I've delivered myself into the hands of our greatest enemy. I get in the car. As we pull away, Miho finally speaks again. The estate has a medical wing. You'll have your own suite. Everything you need. Except freedom, I whisper. He doesn't answer. In the rearview mirror, I watch Silverwind disappear into the distance, my hand pressed protectively over 4 tiny lives that have. The Moonstone estate is nothing like Silverwind's modest compound. We pass through iron gates into sprawling grounds, manicured gardens, a fountain illuminated by soft lights, buildings that look more like a luxury resort than pack housing. The main house is a modern architectural masterpiece of glass and stone. Everything screams wealth and power. Everything I don't have. Miho leads me inside without a word. The silence between us is suffocating. Staff members bow as we pass. They already know who I am, what I'm carrying. Their stares burn into my back. This is your suite. He opens a door on the 2nd floor. The room is beautiful. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook the gardens. A king-sized bed with soft linens. An attached bathroom with a soaking tub. A sitting area with plush chairs. It's a gilded cage. The medical team will examine you tomorrow morning, Miho says, still not looking at me. There's a call button by the bed if you need anything. Meals will be brought at regular intervals. So I'm a prisoner. You're a pregnant Omega carrying quadruplets. His jaw tightens. You're on bed rest as of now. The agency never said. The agency didn't know you'd conceive 4. Finally, he turns to face me. Up close, without the chaos of the council hall, I can see the exhaustion in his eyes. Do you have any idea how rare this is? How dangerous? Then why did you create the agency? The question bursts out of me. Why go through all this? His expression shutters closed. That's none of your concern. I'm carrying your children. Exactly. The word is cold. My children. Moonstone's heirs. That's all you need to focus on. He leaves before I can respond, the door closing with a soft click. I'm alone in enemy territory, pregnant with 4 pups, and the father wants nothing to do with me beyond ensuring his heirs survive. I sink onto the bed and finally let myself cry. The first week is torture. The medical team confirms what I already know, quadruplets, all healthy, but the pregnancy is high risk. Complete bed rest. No stress. Constant monitoring. I'm not allowed to leave the suite except for medical appointments. Meals arrive 3 times a day, brought by silent staff members who won't meet my eyes. I eat alone, sleep alone, exist in this beautiful prison alone. Miho doesn't visit. I shouldn't care. He's the enemy. The ice wolf who destroyed my pack's future. But late at night, I remember his hands in the darkness, gentle, careful, asking if I was okay. That alpha and this cold stranger feel like completely different people. On the 8th day, someone knocks. Not staff. The knock is too casual. Come in. A woman enters, probably late 20s, with kind eyes and a warm smile. Hi. I'm Hyeren, Miho's sister. Beta, before you ask, I know the family resemblance is lacking. She holds up a bag. I brought books. Figured you'd be bored out of your mind. I stare at her, uncertain. Is this a trick? Oh, don't look so suspicious. She plops into one of the chairs. My brother is an idiot, but I'm not. You look like you need a friend. Something in my chest loosens. Why would you be my friend? Your pack hates mine. Do you know why our packs hate each other? I shake my head. Hyeren leans forward. 30 years ago, my grandfather and your grandfather were best friends. Business partners. They were developing a property deal together, something that would have benefited both packs enormously. I've never heard this. Because it fell apart. Documents went missing. Money disappeared. Each side accused the other of theft and betrayal. She pauses. But here's what no one knows. I found letters in my grandfather's study after he died. He never betrayed your grandfather. He was heartbroken when the friendship ended. My breath catches. Then what happened? Someone else sabotaged them. A rival pack that didn't want Silverwind and Moonstone allied. They stole the documents, spread lies, and watched while two best friends tore each other apart. Her eyes are sad. 30 years of hatred built on a lie. I press my hand to my stomach, overwhelmed. Does Miho know? I told him 2 years ago. He didn't believe me at first. The hatred runs deep. But eventually, she shrugs. He created moonlight matches partly because of it. He wanted to find a compatible Omega, but also, I think he wanted to prove pack affiliations don't matter. That connection transcends old grudges. Then why is he so cold to me? Because you're Silverwind. Hyeren's expression turns sympathetic. And because he's terrified. After Hyeren leaves, I can't stop thinking about her words. The next few weeks blur together. My body changes rapidly, the bump becoming visible, then prominent. 4 pups growing at an accelerated rate. The medical team is constantly worried, constantly monitoring. And Miho starts visiting. At first, it's just brief check-ins. How are you feeling? Is there anything you need? Always formal, always distant. But gradually, the visits lengthen. He brings dinner one evening and stays to eat with me. He asks about my family, careful not to mention pack politics. One night at 16 weeks, the pups kick for the first time. I gasp, hand flying to my stomach. Miho, sitting across from me reviewing medical reports, immediately tenses. What's wrong? Nothing, they're moving. Here. Without thinking, I reach for his hand and press it against my belly. He freezes. For a long moment, neither of us breathes. Then another kick, strong enough that he must feel it. His eyes widen, something cracking in that carefully controlled expression. He doesn't finish. Your children, I whisper. His hand spreads wider across my stomach, reverent now. When he looks up at me, the ice wolf is gone. There's only a man, awed and vulnerable and terrified. I'm sorry, he says quietly. For everything. For being cold. For the circumstances. For what happened to our packs? That too. His thumb strokes my belly absently. Hyeren told you. Why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't know if you'd believe me. And because... He swallows hard. Because when I realized it was you at that council meeting, you, the Omega I'd been dreaming about, I panicked. You were supposed to be anonymous. Instead, you were Silverwind, and suddenly everything was 100 times more complicated. I dreamed about you too, I admit. Your scent. The way you touched me. Jiwoo. My name sounds different in his voice now. Softer. We talk through the night, really talk for the first time. About the agency, the contract, our families. About the grandfather who betrayed nothing and the 30 years of hatred built on lies. About fear and responsibility and 4 lives growing between us. At 24 weeks, my nesting instincts kick in with a vengeance. I wake up frantically needing to build something, create something safe. But the suite is too sterile, too perfect. Miho's closet. Before I can stop myself, I'm in his adjoining room, pulling shirts from hangers. His scent surrounds me, calms me. I gather armfuls of clothing and carry them back to my suite, building a nest in the corner with shaking hands. That's where he finds me an hour later, curled in a pile of his clothes, finally peaceful. He stands in the doorway, staring. You needed my scent. I'm sorry, instinct, I'll put them back. No. He crosses the room, kneeling beside my nest. Keep them. Take whatever you need. Miho. We're mates. The words fall between us like a confession. Aren't we? That's why the pull was so strong. Why I can't stop thinking about you. Why you need my scent to feel safe. I nod, tears spilling over. I've been fighting it, he continues. Fighting you. Because it seemed impossible. But maybe. His hand cups my face gently. Maybe this was meant to happen. Even though I'm Silverwind? Especially because you're Silverwind. He leans closer. Maybe we can heal what our grandfathers couldn't. Our first real kiss is gentle, tentative, perfect. But 2 days later, everything shatters. I'm in the garden, finally allowed short walks, when a van screeches through the gates. Armed wolves pour out, heading straight for me. The Omega! Get the Omega! Miho's security responds instantly, but the attackers are fast. One grabs my arm, yanking me toward the van. I scream, arms wrapped protectively around my belly. Then Miho is there, a blur of fury and violence. He tears the wolf away from me, throws him bodily across the lawn. The other attackers are subdued within minutes. Miho pulls me against his chest, trembling. You're okay. You're safe. I've got you. Later, we learn they were from Shadow Ridge Pack. Rivals who saw my pregnancy as Moonstone's weakness, a chance to strike. That night, Miho holds me as I shake with delayed shock. I won't let anyone hurt you. Ever. I know. I take his hand, press it against my belly. I trust you. At 28 weeks, my parents visit, the first time since I left. My father and Miho speak privately. When they emerge, there are tears in my father's eyes. The old grudge is officially over. That evening, Miho and I sit in my nest together, his arms around me. I'm falling in love with you, I whisper. Not the anonymous alpha. Kang Minho. I've been in love with you since I caught your scent at that council meeting. He kisses my temple. Since I realized my perfect match was the one person I thought I could never have. We kiss again, deeper this time, his hand cradling my swollen belly. Then I feel it, a sudden gush of warmth. Pain lances through me. Miho, something's wrong. Fluid soaks through my clothes. Contractions hit like a hammer. The babies, I gasp. They're coming. We're only at 28 weeks. 10 weeks too early. Everything happens too fast. One moment I'm in Miho's arms, the next I'm being rushed through corridors on a gurney. Alarms blare. Medical staff shout instructions. Miho's hand grips mine so tightly it hurts, but I don't tell him to let go. 28 weeks, quadruplets, emergency C-section. The words blur together. Pain tears through me in waves. Too early. The babies are coming too early. I can't lose them, I sob. Please, I can't. You won't. Miho's face appears above me, fierce and determined. You're strong. They're strong. We're going to get through this. They wheel me into an operating room flooded with harsh white light. Someone tries to make Miho leave, but he snarls, and they back off. He scrubs in quickly, returning to my side in surgical gear. I'm here, he murmurs against my temple. I'm not going anywhere. The anesthesia makes everything feel distant and strange. I can't feel the lower half of my body. Can't feel them cutting me open. But I can feel Miho's hand in mine, anchor in the storm. First baby, someone announces. A tiny, warbling cry fills the room. So small, so fragile, but alive. Alpha female. 2 pounds, 3 ounces. They whisk her away before I can see her properly. My heart lurches. Second baby. Alpha male. 2 pounds even. Another weak cry. More rushing footsteps. Third baby. Omega male. 1 pound 14 ounces. Fourth baby. Omega female. 1 pound 12 ounces. For cries. For impossibly tiny lives pulled from my body and rushed to waiting incubators. I try to sit up, to see them, but gentle hands push me back down. They need immediate NICU care, a doctor explains. You'll see them soon, I promise. Miho's face is wet. It takes me a moment to realize he's crying silently, still holding my hand. They're here, he whispers. All four. They're fighters just like you. Then exhaustion pulls me under like a riptide. I wake up in a recovery room 12 hours later. My body feels hollow wrong. My arms ache with emptiness. The babies? My voice cracks. Miho is beside me instantly, looking like he hasn't slept. Stable. All four are stable. They're in incubators on breathing support, but they're fighting. I want to see them. Soon. You need to recover from surgery first. Now. I try to sit up and immediately regret it. Pain rips through my abdomen. Jiwoo, please. They're my babies. I need to see my babies. Something in my desperation breaks him. He arranges a wheelchair, helps me into it with excruciating care. Every movement hurts, but I don't care. Nothing matters except seeing them. The NICU is quiet except for the beeping of monitors. 4 incubators in a row, each containing a tiny, fragile miracle. They're so small, tinier than I imagined possible. Tubes and wires cover their miniature bodies. But their chests rise and fall. They're breathing. This is Yuna, a nurse says softly, gesturing to the first incubator. Your alpha daughter. She's the biggest, the strongest. Real fighter. Yuna's tiny fist clenches and unclenches. Dark hair covers her head. Minjun, your alpha son. He's vocal, we can tell already. The nurse smiles. Keeps trying to cry even with the breathing tube. Jaemin, Omega son. He's quieter, but his vitals are steady. And Seo-hyun, Omega daughter. The smallest, but she's stubborn. Refused to let the nurses handle her without putting up a fight. I press my hand against Yuna's incubator, wishing I could hold her. Hi, baby girl. I'm your appa. I'm here. Miho's hand covers mine on the glass. We're both here. The next days are a blur of terror and hope. Yuna's oxygen levels drop. They stabilize her. Minjun develops an infection. Antibiotics save him. Jaemin struggles to regulate his temperature. They adjust his incubator settings. Seo-hyun, the tiniest, has breathing episodes that stop my heart every time. I practically live in the NICU, wheelchair parked between incubators, dividing my attention between all 4. Miho brings me food I barely eat, reminds me to rest when I refuse to leave. Then something unexpected happens. On day 3, my father arrives. Not alone, he's brought Silverwind Pack members. They fill the NICU waiting room, awkward and uncertain in enemy territory. Hyerin appears with Moonstone Pack members. For a tense moment, both groups stare at each other. Then my father extends his hand to Miho's mother. Our children found each other despite us. Maybe it's time we let go of the past. She takes his hand. My father spoke of yours often, before everything fell apart. He said your father was the best man he knew. Mine said the same. Just like that, 30 years of hatred begins to crumble. Both packs take shifts in the waiting room, waiting together for news on 4 tiny lives that belong to both families. I watch through the NICU window as Silverwind and Moonstone wolves share coffee, trade stories, even laugh together. Our children are already healing old wounds. 3 weeks pass before the first baby comes home. Yuna, our strong alpha girl, has gained enough weight and passed all her tests. The day we bring her to the estate, my hands shake as I hold her properly for the first time. She's perfect, I whisper. She has your nose, Miho says, voice thick with emotion. 1 week later, Minjun joins us. Then Jaemin. Finally, after 5 agonizing weeks, Seo-hyun is cleared to leave the NICU. for car seats, for tiny babies. One completely terrified set of new parents. The reality of quadruplets hits us like a freight train. Midnight feedings, except it's never just one baby. When Yuna wakes crying, she wakes Minjun. Then Jaemin. Then Seohyun. We stumble through the estate like zombies, passing babies between us, heating bottles in assembly line fashion. I can't remember which one I just fed, I say at 3 a.m., holding a screaming Jaemin. Check the chart. Miho points to the detailed schedule we've created. He ate an hour ago. This is Seohyun's turn. We swap babies. Both of us are covered in spit-up and exhaustion. I have a meeting in 4 hours, Miho mutters. Cancel it. I'm the pack alpha. You're a father first. I adjust Seohyun's bottle. They need you more than any meeting. He stares at me for a long moment, then pulls out his phone. You're right. We argue about everything. Sleep schedules, feeding amounts, whose turn it is to change diapers. We're exhausted and overwhelmed and completely out of our depth. But every time I look at our 4 babies, the struggle is worth it. 2 months after their birth, Miho and I complete the mating bond officially. No contract. No anonymity. Just us, choosing each other freely. The bite mark on my neck settles into place like it was always meant to be there. The quadruplets' first birthday party is chaos incarnate. Both packs gather on neutral ground, a park between territories. Tables overflow with food. Decorations in silver and blue, Silverwind colors, and black and gold, Moonstone colors, flutter in the breeze. Minjun toddles after a balloon, shrieking with laughter. Seohyun sits in her grandmother's lap, content. Jaemin explores everything with serious concentration. Yuna, our little alpha, bosses around pack members twice her size. I watch Miho chase after all 4 at once. He's covered in cake frosting, hair disheveled, completely different from the ice wolf I met a year ago. He catches my eye across the chaos and mouths, I love you. My heart swells impossibly full. A year ago, I signed a desperate contract to save my pack. I never imagined it would lead here, to a mate I adore, for perfect children, and peace between our peoples. Hyerin appears beside me, bouncing Jaemin on her hip. Look at what you did. You ended a 30-year war just by existing. I got pregnant with quadruplets. You brought our families together. She grins. Also, I found out who sabotaged our grandfathers. Shadow Ridge Pack, the same ones who attacked you. They've been working against both our packs for decades. What happens now? Now, Silverwind and Moonstone are discussing an official alliance. Joint businesses. Shared resources. She pauses. Some are even talking about a full merger eventually. I look at the party, 2 packs celebrating together, children playing without knowing about old grudges, my father laughing with Miho's mother. We did it, I whisper. We actually did it. Miho returns, somehow carrying all 3 remaining babies. Help. I take Seohyun and Yuna, laughing. Our little family, impossible and perfect. Sometimes the best things come from the most unexpected places. Sometimes enemies become family. Sometimes a desperate choice leads to everything you never knew you wanted. I kiss Miho softly, our daughters giggling between us. This is home.